This is Demon1, arguably the best player in Valorant as of right now. This duelist main has the best aim that we have ever seen in Valorant history. With his meteoric rise up into the pro scene, we'll be taking a look at the 12 things that you can learn from Demon1 to instantly start dominating your matches. One of Demon1's strongest traits is his ability to effortlessly produce highlight clips even when on the biggest of stages. However, one of the defining skills that allows him to set up these insane multi-frags is how he uses cover to isolate his duels. Take a look at these clips.
Shots better from DG. Oh my gosh! What was that?
Getting the call now, and
Demon1's not spotted it.
This position, is it more than one for maybe Demon1? It is all three! The triple for Demon1!
Some pretty insane clips, but if we take a closer look at both of these situations, we can see that Demon1 had peeked into such a way that he had created a narrow window with the pieces of cover in front of him. Creating these tight windows when peeking into multiple enemies helps better isolate duels since it minimizes the amount of angles you expose yourself to. The more wide the window that you create, the more angles you have to deal with, which means that more people will fight you simultaneously. The beauty of this technique is that even if there is more than one enemy present in the window, if the window is narrow enough, the enemies will likely accidentally line up, giving you some cheeky collateral shots like in the split clip. On the topic of producing multi-frag clips, another key trait that Demon1 has mastered is his ability to evaluate threat levels in 1vx situations. In this bind clip, Demon1 is the sole defender on an A site as the remaining 3 attackers teleport towards showers. He tosses a barrage of utility towards showers in the hope of stopping their rush. After exiting the smoke, he fights the enemy Brimstone with his boombot while his nade kills the Raze and prevents the Sage from pushing. After the Brimstone gets behind cover, Demon1 immediately positions his crosshair placement towards showers. Unfortunately, the Sage hits a pretty lucky running headshot onto him, but that's not the point that we want to make here. The point is that in this situation, Demon1 was presented with 2 options for his crosshair placement, either hold the Brimstone if they were to peek from triple, or Sage who is in showers. But he quickly evaluated the threat levels of each of these options and chose the one that was most likely to occur. The 2 major factors that were part of this decision-making process were 1, Brimstone just took a substantial amount of damage from the boombot, so he's a bit more scared to re-peek knowing that he's low health, and 2, the Raze nade had just ended, so it's quite likely that the Sage is going to peek out from showers because she was waiting for the nade to finish exploding. Also, the Brimstone is quite low on sight, so she is likely going to push out in order to help him. Demon1 was right in his thought process since the Sage was the first person to peek, but sometimes you just get owned by running headshots. With this in mind, Demon1 even opts to employ the if you can't beat them, join them mentality.
And we got China, man. We go.
Yo, I was fully moving. I was fully moving. This game, bro.
Sometimes all you need is some ignorance and some luck on your side to win a duel. One of the agents that makes Demon1 stand out the most in the competitive scene, of course, is Jett. Easily one of the strongest agents in Valorant for any aimer. Jett probably has the most carry potential for any agent, and that's exactly why we went in depth and broke down everything that you need to know about playing Jett in our brand new Jett course. This is where we dive deep into Demon1's gameplay as well as other Jett mains and teach you everything that you need to know about how to carry. Hundreds of hours went into producing this course to make it as simple as possible for a noob to pick up Jett and instantly start dominating their games. We'll teach you all of the little tricks that Demon1 uses to simplify the aiming process and dominate in the most competitive scene in esports history. Don't just take our word for it though, as we offer a rank improvement guarantee, so if you don't start climbing after using our service, you'll instantly get your money back, no questions asked. More on that at the end of the video. But if you aren't the type of person that wants to let luck decide your duels, aiming with your movement rather than solely relying on your mouse control is something that Demon1 uses quite often to higher his aiming consistency.
How much does he get? 10 jump spot, spots 1. It's not a comfortable plant. He's gonna get it down for now. Closing the gap though, you gotta respect this man. A danger! A danger!
In this match versus Loud, Demon1 is in a 1v2 situation and manages to plant the spike. Realizing that he's at a numbers disadvantage, he peeks quite aggressively towards Jen in hopes of taking the initiative. After landing a clean headshot onto the Omen, he overflicks a bit to the right of the KO and starts to strafe to the left so that his own movement helps in readjusting his crosshair back onto the KO's head. After a small micro adjustment with his mouse, he lands another insanely clean headshot and clutches the round. This technique of getting your movement involved into your flicks and micro adjustments makes aiming much easier since you don't have to rely on just your mouse hand to do all of the work. On top of this, you are maximizing your movement to dodge the enemy's bullets at the same time. If you're curious about this topic, we have a video that goes much more in depth on this technique and how to practice it yourself. Using this same technique, you can also incorporate Jiggle prefires like how Demon1 does in this bind match. The strength that comes with these types of peeks, especially at the very start of the round, is that it's a relatively safe way to gain some early information on where the enemies may be located. This Jiggle peek outside of Hookah gave Demon1 info that Reyna and one other attacker were in market. Jiggle peeks are a great way to gain information relatively safe since you only expose yourself to threats for a small amount of time. But adding in a prefire adds an extra layer of spice to this peek because in addition to gaining the information, you also are giving yourself a chance to get some chip damage or even a free kill if your crosshair placement is super on point. So don't be afraid to add in those Jiggle prefire peeks into your repertoire. Demon1's peeks and crosshair placement is an aspect of the game that can be emulated even for a casual player. However, one thing that Demon1 has that not even other pro players can perfectly copy is his insane flicks.
Beginning, taken over towards the top side of things to oh, come on! This guy is literally, but it's Alpha up against Demon now. Oh my god!
Top mid being held, paranoia so deep. What is that? Oh, what? Trying to force the fight. Demon1 has to take it, and he reacts. Oh, what is that?
Whenever Demon1 isn't in the mood to just hit the most insane flicks in the world, he's willing to reset his shots for when extremely hard shots are presented to him. In this clip, the enemy Raze flies to the sky with their satchels. This type of movement is almost impossible to land a clean shot onto. Understanding this, Demon1 chooses to strictly go for taps or bursts onto the Raze as she soars through the sky. Even for an aim god such as Demon1, he himself recognizes that these are very low success rate shots, so he just has to go for pop shots. Once the Raze lands on the floor, he once again goes for another burst and lands a clean headshot. Don't put all of your eggs into hitting a shot if the shot is almost impossible to hit. However, if you do feel like you tend to miss a lot of easy shots, spending some time in a third-party aim trainer like Demon1 can help level up your overall mouse control. Demon1 personally attributes a lot of his success to using these aim trainers while he was grinding his way up to the tier 1 pro scene. Especially for your lower ranked players, your overall mouse control is usually one of the biggest factors when it comes to not ranking up, so try to actively put some time into practicing whenever you are able to. Demon1 is an insanely skilled aimer, but he isn't just your stereotypical all-aim no-brain player, at least not all the time. When needed, he's willing to control the pace of the mid-round.
He's fighting. Three, go away.
In this bind clip, Demon1's entire team is positioned for a hit onto the B site. Unfortunately, the minimap is blocked by his cam, but as you may be able to notice, while Demon1 is scaling up long, he is glancing up at the minimap to take inventory of how many defenders are on the B site. Whenever he notices that it's 3 players on B site, he immediately communicates this to his team and confidently calls for them to rotate back towards A. After, he leads by example by charging into the A site, knowing that if they can hit the site quickly, they'll be executing onto the weaker bomb site. Even though he's not an in-game leader, Demon1 still knows how to command his team to play around the key information that the enemies present during the mid-round. Always be willing to call a rotation if you're sure where the enemies are located. Demon1 not only takes initiative with his mid-round calls, but also with his own mid-round plays.
Backside. Wait for my stun. Stunning now. Nice. One more out. That's already here.
Body match 90.
In this split clip, Demon1 opts to go for a hit onto the B site. The Astral Wall's positioning helps his team scale into sight, but also makes it hard for Demon1 to take the space around Hell and back pillar. Because of this, he chooses to updraft onto the double stack box here to have a cheeky off angle if any defenders decide to push into the Astral Wall. Unfortunately, his team struggles to get onto site due to the wave of enemy utility and the slight lack of space. So, after his brief scuffle with the enemy Jett, he takes initiative into the 4v4 to dash and updraft through the Astral Wall and find a fortunate timing onto the defenders. This play may look a little bit silly at first, but Demon1 realized that if they had just tried to work within the space they were given, they would have likely lost the round because the defenders would have had an ample amount of time to set up a perfect retake. Sometimes you need to take the round into your own hands in situations like this. Although taking initiative is a good skill to have, there are situations where your best bet is to prepare for the enemy's aggression. Demon1 displays this thinking whenever he prepares his crosshair placement for the enemy's trade frag. In this match versus Loud, Demon1 is in a 2v3 post plant scenario. With a lack of time to find better positioning, Demon1 plays this off angle with his teammates to prepare for the upcoming retake. He lands a very nice headshot onto the Viper, but the key takeaway here is how quickly he positions his crosshair placement right after finding the frag to prepare for the Viper's teammate to swing for the trade frag. Since Demon1 was so quick at getting his crosshair prepared for the Raze's swing, it didn't even matter that Raze on paper had the advantage here because Demon1 was ready to take this fight as soon as possible. Whenever you land a kill, always be prepared for another person to peek into you right after because the enemy if nearby will always try to trade out their fallen teammate. Changing how you play depending on the type of weaponry that the enemy has is something that Demon1 has a great understanding of. specifically on how to fight against sheriffs. In this Haven match, Demon1's team pushes into A site. Following the 2 initial frags, Demon1 finds himself in a fight against the enemy Cypher. Realizing that he is a sheriff, he keeps himself very mobile in order to make the Cypher shot incredibly difficult to land. The strength that comes with the sheriff is that it's a one-shot headshot at close to medium ranges. But the main weaknesses are the slow fire rate, lack of damage on body shots, as well as the low ammo count. With all of these 3 things in mind, Demon1 fully capitalizes on all of these weaknesses. First, he moves quite sporadically, even turning his model left and right to feign where he's planning to move next. This makes landing the headshot extremely hard, and even if the enemy went for body shots, the time to kill is quite slow, so it would give Demon1 enough time to counterattack with his Vandal Spray. Second, during this entire encounter, Demon1 is counting the amount of bullets that the Cypher has. With only a mag size of 6, once Demon1 hears that 6 bullet fired, he immediately chases after the Cypher, knowing that he has no way to defend himself. Whenever you're in a fight against a sheriff, always try to employ these tactics to circumvent the strengths of the deadly pistol. Alright though guys, before we wrap this up, let me tell you a little bit more about SkillCapped. So we offer a 5 division rank up guarantee, and we think that's a pretty crazy thing to offer. It's like a gym membership guaranteeing that you'll get ripped. Your local gym would go bust if they offered you that. Not us though. We offered this for years because our service really does work. It works so well, in fact, that we are able to produce by far the largest catalog of premium Valorant guides on the internet. We add new courses every month. With over 1,000 Valorant guides curated into over 50 courses, no one can compare. We also have a direct line of communication with subscribers in our Discord so that you can get connected immediately to some of the best players in the game who will respond to all of your questions asked. Sign up today for as little as $6.99 a month if you are serious about improving.